priest of Ukrainian Orthodox Church, Kyiv Patriarchate. The floor is yours. Glory to Jesus Christ, glory to Ukraine. God enlightens minds of the Ukrainian people, help them fight evil and get the people from the knees, and help people live in the state that we would like to see for this land, to be sure of the destiny of our posterity, not in slavery, but in a free country. And I'm sure that God will help us, indeed, to achieve that. We just have to fight and win. Lord said, I'm giving you the sword. Not the sword to cut the heads, to kill somebody, anyone, but to fight with. When Peter cut off the ear of one of the slaves, Lord said to him, you're fighting with the sword and you'll die by the sword. So we understand that there's another sword given by Lord for us to fight evil, because our life is constant fight. It's good and evil, and every day we have to fight. And now we have many important questions and very different answers to such questions. But we have just one question on behalf of the Ukrainian people. We would like to really live differently, not just in words, but in deeds. And we want to have jobs. We want to work, and we want to have decent income, not just for bread, salt, and water. And the time is coming. It's near at hand when many people who even have jobs won't have enough money to pay for their accommodation. How can we get out of this situation? The remedy is there. We have to ask Lord, like Solomon once upon a time, and he became one of the wisest kings. The wisest king. When Prince Volodymyr baptized Kyiv and Rus, there was prosperity, and it was going on and developing, progressing. So we have just to pray to God, ask God, and He shall give us. What is preventing us from developing our country? The monopoly prevents us from development, because there we have oligarchs with their cold hearts. They are far away from our everyday problems with our rent and our subsistence. They want to make billions, because that's how it is in their lives. Common people think about getting our kids through school, through college, to feed them, to put them to bed, so that they are not hungry, and they want to make billions to become the richest in this world. Yes, it is a temptation. And devil says, bow to me, and all the riches of this world will belong to you. And our Lord can teach us how to fight this temptation. Just pray to Lord, and He's the only for you to worship and it's about. So if you can get all the world and corrupt your soul, what will be the collateral, the pledge for your soul? It's something that is much more precious than anything. So we as Ukrainians, as true believers, keep asking ourselves, why wouldn't they think about it? And the answer is this: nobody can guarantee that they will ever think about it. It's like going to a big pit, and you cannot possibly get out of the pit. People are put in that pit, and there's no better love than sacrificing your soul for your neighbor. Even you can give your body for the sacrifice. Even in the angelic languages, you cannot speak to the people because you have no speak of love. It's not just tomorrow. It's not just the day after or the day after tomorrow. We can do it. We can afford it today if our authorities, people in power, truly want it, and they want to care for our Ukrainian people. Some people call themselves Europeans. They can call themselves whatever they choose. But that will be truly European if we really make the same kind of money, have the same kind of income like in Europe, same kind of roads like in Europe, medical care like they have there in Europe. And with the European Parliament, European Prime Ministers, we can afford the same thing. And we can do that today. I'll tell you how this can be afforded. Even in position of the Prime Minister, we can instruct ministers, create jobs for our Ukrainian people, for them to have in each industry, in each sector, some jobs created. Let's concentrate on tourism. Everything was done in such a way that it is even difficult to have a tourist base. Say somebody wants to connect to the grid. What is one to do? Technical specification, the master plan, and we have to pay for the electric power connection, 10,000 for the documentation alone, specification alone. So the monopolists, who I think, and all the Ukrainian people, they think so. This should not be a property for some oligarch. Electric energy supplies or gas supplies, this should be under control of the Ukrainian state. Many different examples can be given to support this with the evidence. Millions of tourists from the world, from Europe, are standing ready to come to us. Our country is attractive. The climate is best, pure water, beautiful mountains, and all the rest it takes. They're not that afraid of the Eastern War, but they're afraid of our roads. It's another war. You are traveling and you're never sure that you'll get to your destination. The roads constitute the best image of any state. Many people get killed on the roads with their children, with their spouses. And people are gone. Who is to be blamed for that? We don't know. You never know. So we have to put an end to it. You should pray with me so that people come to power, people who are God-fearing souls. They know that God can see everything, and we, as the Ukrainian people, will select those people and elect them as good-loving and people-loving authorities. We'll hope that this will be so, and the Ukrainian people will make the right choice. Coming back to the topic of our briefing, how small and medium enterprises can help the Ukrainian state with the Eastern Company, Eastern Affair. So what's the situation with SMEs in the west of Ukraine? Maybe you can give good examples. How SMEs can help us create jobs, regardless of all the limitations that we have had under the previous regime and still have some of them persisting. A lot of things in order to develop SMEs, we have to change things. Development of SMEs will bring democracy to Ukraine and the middle class that is strong. What it is, that means that you give it to one person. It can be anything. You can produce whatever you want. Lots of things, like take the watersheds. We have water reserves, springs, rivulets. We can make fisheries there, and we can accommodate this with the center. And by the way, fish our Ukrainians need. There's lots of phosphorus in it, and we'll become wiser. So nobody wants, or there are some people who do not want the Ukrainian people to be wise. So, however difficult their lives might be or seem, they can give their last shirt, unlike the oligarchs. And if they have in their income 1,000 to 5,000 a month, they're prepared to give away for charity, for the army. And there are people who buy certificates with their money, but the money should be used properly, because there are some people craving for that, even that amount of money. They want to take it. So it does not mean that you have to build a big plant and then in 1 or 2 years you have some jobs there. And all of a sudden you discover that it's a totally different development. So what should we do? We have to give green light to such people.
If taxes go down, it will not make the country poorer, because if life improves and if things improve, then now things are looking that our shape are shaved and they cannot grow their wool. I'm not a specialist in economy in other areas, but God gives us mind. There are simple things we need to talk to people. There is a businessman that gives work to people. If they allow others to earn 5,000, say, let them pay tax not of 5,000, but of a minimal salary. Then you don't need to look for schemes to hide the salary. and the businessmen will not have to hide the income, and Ukrainians at least will not go to social service to request assistance. You believe Ukrainians would be more conscious? And yes, today Ukrainians are surviving, and there is no other way. Because if you do not register your income, then you go into the shade. Let's give people opportunity to come out of the shade. Thank you, Father, for coming to us with such optimism every time. But tell me, before your briefing, you said that there is communication between Kyiv Patriarchy and Moscow Patriarchy. Can you say something about that? Yes, I can. I think Patriarch of Russia, Kirill, spoke to Universal Patriarch to help at the level of Universal Church, to help them to help, and he accused Ukrainian churches of fighting against canonic church, and he received a reply. You had no right, and nobody gave you canonicity over Ukrainian church. You have taken the right, and you're lying to people. That's the response they received. So today, and this is big benefit for Ukrainian church, for Ukrainian people, and this is something that we should not be afraid of, because Moscow Patriarchy taught that you should not go to be baptized and married in Catholic, in Orthodox Church, because canonical and graceful baptism or marriage. People need to be smart today, and I'm very glad that let me talk about Transcarpathia. I have great news. The priests there, because most are of Moscow Patriarchate, the priests get together and they will go in majority to their bishops, asking to move under Ukrainian Patriarchy. Let's stop serving Moscow. Thank you very much for this great news. Thank you for coming to us and raising these important questions among us. I'm sure you're going back to your parishioners and you're sharing this wise word. Let me tell you more. We have a great holiday coming, the protection of gathered in my name, I will be among them. So we wish and we ask God's protection, so God will help us choose those into the parliament that would not meet often, but would meet fruitfully, and they would come to Ukrainian people to ask, how do you live? How can we help you? What law we can pass for you? But in order to do that, we need to differentiate who oligarch stands for and who has patriot and professional. We need to look into people's eyes, understand their love God will help us with God and to victory. With this optimistic note, we'll finish this day. Thank you very much, and may God be with you.